We were given an L3H2 Peugeot Boxer, an EcoFlow portable power supply, and a budget of £12,000 to convert this empty van into a stylish home from home. Did we hit the mark, or were we way off? What do you think? In our last vlog, we installed all our working systems and appliances. We installed a chest freezer and amazing Julka Gotta-Go toilet in a dedicated bench sheet, and plumbed in a water supply with separate filtered water through a water 2 filter. In this vlog, we will be finishing all the internal trim to bring personal style to the functionality, showing perhaps how easy you could do it, as we chose to B&Q it. With a budget to adhere to, fortunately, unlike our van build, we didn't have to build vast storage systems for full-time life on the road. All 21 of our cupboards and drawers were individually built to take advantage of every single nook and cranny, which took time and a lot of money to achieve. On a budget, by no means was this van going to be a budget build.
If I spend 12 grand instead of 20 grand, I'll be delighted and we'll get what we want. And I'm taking on board everything that you guys are saying and advice you're giving. It's all good advice.
You can get carried away.
Yep, you can.
Really easily.
And to be honest with you, I think Paul will keep me on track. I'm scared that if I spend less, I'm going to get a less quality of the van. That's not necessarily true.
No.
But to save time and money, we decided to build this van around ready-made units, drawers and doors. Not only to save us time and money, but also to demonstrate that by B&Qing it, anybody can do this van build. Sexy Anna. Yes. Sexy Anna, know it. Now, remember this. I've learned that there's an ideal start and finish point to build the habitat inside these Fiat-based vans. Now, we've already mentioned the point in the rear, so the van itself actually gives you a dedicated line that you can see running all the way from the bottom all the way to the top. And there's an equally useful one here at the front as well. Well, the distance between those 2 points is 340 centimetres, which fortunately allows us to fit 6 50 centimetre and 1 40 centimetre by 30 drawer fronts to give us a perfectly fitting run of overhead cabinets along one side of the van. Not only for an easy fit, but to accomplish the clean, uninterrupted style we wanted to achieve. After visiting several kitchen showrooms, B&Q Alisma drawer fronts were the exact colour match, so we ordered enough drawer fronts to achieve the look we wanted throughout the van, with a kitchen unit and plinth to match. But before we could complete all of our cupboard and locker fronts, we set our neighbour Paul on with creating an oak worktop to match the pull-out drawer. In his workshop, Paul carefully scribed an outline to cut to install the kitchen sink, and cut with care in order to preserve the piece that was to be removed.
On chopping board.
In went the sink to check all was well.
Like a glove.
And then I left Paul to continue preparations while I fitted the doors to the overhead cabinets. One long line of upper cabinets makes for a quick and easy build. With our cabinet upper support beam in place, it was easy early in this build to put our ceiling up of acoustic panel. The depth of the cabinet was deliberately that of the drawer fronts I was using for the doors, which by absolute luck aligns with an ideal support beam we can use for mounting to the side of the van. The frame was painted, mounted in place, insulated, and backed by just popping in some PVC sheet. With the framework down supports correctly gapped, I could now fix the fronts on for a stylish job well done. Well, that was the last cupboard door going in for the overhead lockers. I wouldn't say it was the easiest of tasks. The hinges that we've used from Screwfix were ideal because they lock all these cabinets in place, and obviously they give us the hinging effect as well. Quite cheap to buy. The only problem is they don't have a lot of adjustment on, so it's quite awkward and quite fiddly perhaps to get all of these lined up. So it's a slow process, and there's been a lot of swearing, but I think I'm just going to take you guys off this stand now. You can give me some idea of what you think. So we have one run of cupboards that goes all the way along, all the way to the end of the van. That gives Darren storage at the bed end there and above the kitchen here as well. The reason why I went for one long flow is because it made fitting the roof really easy, not having to jog anything out in order to fit the cupboards. So all in all, I am quite pleased with the way that's gone. There's some protective film overall there, so once we've finished we'll peel all that off and that should be all quite nice. So they're the only overhead cupboards that we're putting in this van. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them at 40 centimetre, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 and 50, and they were a perfect fit. So it also goes to show that you can buy off-the-shelf cupboards. These were from B&Q, and they've made an easy job of fitting them. I haven't had to build bespoke cupboards like we did in our van that took an absolute age. So that was the idea. We've got our B&Q kitchen unit, we've got our B&Q cupboards, we're going to use some more cupboard doors to finish the end profile of that, and also some more on this, which is going to be his toilet and fridge unit. So yeah, done. With the worktop finished, the worktop and sink were checked for alignment, removed and returned to the workshop to securely fit the sink unit. The outline of the sink was masked to stop any overspill of CT1 clear adhesive, and once in place, securely clamped overnight to firmly cure in place. Once cured, the clamps were removed, the masking tape and CT1 overspill was cut and removed, and the wood was now prepared with light sand before several coats of cutting board oil to bring out that lustre and protect the wood on both sides. Now, prior to fitting the worktop, I had made a window ledge out of some spare Mistral composite material left over from our home kitchen build, a nice touch to complement the aesthetic of the van. CT1 bonded the Mistral in place and was weighed down to cure overnight. The next day we could remove the weights and remove the protective film to expose another job well done. Now, one last bit of prep work to do before I could fit the worktop. So I've already penciled a line at the back here when I had the worktop on, just to make sure it all fit. So I just scribed a line with a ballpoint pen, and now I'm following that line. So when we put the worktop back on and secure it all down, we've got a relatively watertight seal. Now, the reason why I wanted to use this sticky seal as opposed to bonding something with, say, silicone sealant or some other type of polyurethane sealant is that I like things to be easily removable. I like the fact that we will be able to remove that top quite easily without destroying anything, because the diesel heater is under here, as well as a multitude of other services as well. And I think all services should be always accessible. And that's one of the reasons why I never build anything into the framework of the van. I never put any electrical systems in the framework of the van, and I never put any water systems there or under the floor. It means that if anything goes wrong, you can get to it. You can fix it, you can sort it. Sorted, or pere. On now goes the worktop, which was secured from underneath with L-shaped brackets. And on goes the kitchen tap, to be plumbed into the water tube filter, which we showed you in our previous vlog. The kitchen unit was then easy to complete, finally bonding a drawer front in place with double-sided sticky tape to finish off the theme matching the overhead lockers. Now, I'm not one to blow my own trumpet, but this bench sheet not only was designed to fit a dual-car toilet and chest fridge, but was the perfect height to match the opposing bench seat and of a length and height to cover with 3 drawer fronts of 40 centimetres to match the theme running through the van. With the frame secured in place, using double-sided tape, a plinth was secured in place before applying more tape to secure a drawer front, fixed only for appearance rather than functionality. It moving anywhere, you got to get it right first time. The only concern is that if in a hot climate that glue, that sticky, might get a little bit loose, so we are going to put some brackets on there, but that is tough. So this is double-sided sticky tape, but it's the stuff that holds things on like number plates on cars. It's the industrial stuff obtained from a car paint shop. So yeah, this is the stuff to buy, guys, if you want to attempt something like that. But that isn't moving anywhere, and I seriously would be tempted to just leave it like that, but nope, belt and braces. We're going to put some angle brackets on as well. In the same fashion, on went the second front, taking great care to align correctly before pressing firm. And then on went the third and final piece. just in time for the delivery of cushions.
Oh my god.
Zip to the inside.
Oh my god. Oh, zip, yeah.
Yeah, zip's gonna have to.
Oh.
Where did that fall from?
Just on the side of the door.
Oh, that's alright then. I didn't think. I don't know. What's what for that one? Not sure. What's it?
Squish it down.
Perfect fit.
No, I think that's the other one.
I think this is this.
Yeah.
That's this side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tess. She says, is that my bed? Yep, guess that's my bed.
Oh, you have got stinky breath.
Oh, we're all in. Yeah,
Out.
we're all in.
Out, please.
Out.
Out. Take it.
Irish.
Oh, that's a bit too big, isn't it? Just push it down in the middle. It's a tight fit.
That, well, at least it's not going to move. That didn't look too bad.
No, that's not going to move. None of those are going to move.
Is that one going to go on there?
Yeah,
That one's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what it is.
Wow.
Now, there is an unspoken rule when it comes to colour coordinating the interior of your van. Now, colour choice is a personal thing, but for visual flow, up should match down, north should match south, and east should match west. So the bench sheet was finished with a coordinated door to access the dual toilet. The seat cushions, bedspread and scatter pillows with themed counter and tabletops supply the accent colours that can make the over appearance pop. With just a handful of ideas and requests, we think we've really nailed this build for Darren.
Pull tape out, pull tape out, pull tape out.
Look at all this. Wow. Shit, look how beautiful this is. Look how well that goes colour-wise.
It's nice, isn't it?
And that strap does look good there, Paul.
It's not bad, is it?
Yeah. I was thinking maybe getting the tan one instead. That's just being facetious. It's being a bit particular.
Particular.
Oh my god.
Pull tape out, pull tape out.
Catch, pull.
Pull. It just can't yet. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
Awesome.
I think it's double awesome.
Awesome.
Right.
Not bad.
Right. Need to take a shot of that. And now, just a few finishing touches to make it all complete. Now, trimming above the sliding door is always a tricky one. So having profiled a template, the pan was transferred to a suitable piece of stud wall batten, cut and profiled, and bolted in place through riv nuts already fixed into the pre-carpeted part of the van. Another template for the face was profiled and again transferred to a piece of 9mm ply, cut to the required length. Once cut, the face could be securely attached to the stud batten using wood glue and brad nails. The whole piece was then covered in stretch carpet with LED lighting. For privacy, curtain rails and curtains were added to the sliding door, and after boarding and carpeting the area behind the bench seat, a 6 set of super tough storage pockets in grey ripstop canvas and clear PU was velcroed in place straight onto the carpet, with an extra 6 set on the driver's side rear door, and one on the passenger side too. Now these storage pockets made for a great addition for any extra storage solution, and are part of the camp cover range from Derek at LRS Off-Road, which I'll link in the description. With the van build now finished, we left Darren to pack his van before sending him on his way to tour Wales, Spain and Portugal, before returning home to Northern Ireland.
Bye guys. Bye Oro.
Right, see you later, buddy.
Yeah, take care.
Have a great time.
Good
Thank you.
Have a Feliz Navidad.
Thank you guys.
That's it now.
everyone.
Bye. Oh, logged into the wall. I wish mine started as easy as that. Cheers, buddy. Okay, now.
Next. I think we can have a rest, can't we?
I don't know. There's a lot to be getting on with. Honestly.
2 more vans to go.
I know. So, did we manage to finish this van build on budget? Well, we spent £9,828.69, but not forgetting to also mention that we also put on some new wheels and tyres as well. Also, however, Darren did buy a lot of things himself because obviously he wanted to spend some money, he wanted to enjoy himself spending. So he bought things like the mattress,
Yes,
cushions. He bought himself a Wolf Box reversing camera. I've got a list here. What else did he buy? Curtains, external window covers, the kitchen tap. So that actually brought the total to approximately £11,500. So we were under budget by £1,000. Now, he did also supply his EcoFlow, which is the portable power pack, and they have come down in price a lot of late as well. So it's likely within £12,500 you could build the entirety of the interior of this van, including the power source as well. Now, that power source that he did provide, it did allow us to power up the entirety of this van build from just tooling powered by the EcoFlow, charged by the EcoFlow. So the first thing we needed to do was install those solar panels on the roof, which allowed us to do that. Which brings us to the fact that this van build is an anyone can do van build. And if you purchase your power pack first and install that solar, there is no reason why you can't build this van completely off grid. So what's next now for Van Life My Way? Well, let's get Nikki to explain that one. I'll put you on the spot.
We have bought 2 XBT vans. They are Fiat Ducatos and they are L2H2.
Which we're hoping to convert as a his and hers build-off. We want to get you guys engaged in what we do with these vans with an idea of either selling them or hiring them out at the end of the build. So Nikki has got one van, I have got another van, and Nikki's already started hers. And this is what's going to be coming up in our next vlogs, a his and hers build-off. The idea of this is that Nikki has very little experience in tooling and van building, so this is going to be a learn along with Nikki exercise, as well as a little bit of fun. Nikki's already actually started doing her van build, so I've got some catching up to do. So we hope you're going to stay tuned and watch the next vlogs that we're going to be bringing out as we strive to convert these 2 XBT vans into homes for hire or to sell. Yeah, and you let us know. You let us know. As we're building these, you let us know what we should be doing with these vans.
And whose is best.
Yes. So prettiest. So do remember to like and subscribe as to not miss out on these van builds. It's going to be very different from anything we've done in the past, so it's going to be well worth a watch.
Learn along with Nikki.
Learn along with Nikki. Bye.
Bye.